Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today I'm doing something a little bit different for me, a little bit out of my comfort zone. Today you will be watching a vlog where I cannot stop reading until I find a 5-star book. And not only that, it has to be a 5-star fantasy romance book. I know I've been saying for years that I'm not a romance girly, I don't read fantasy romance, but do you know what? I have seen so many people talking about them, I've seen so many amazing lists, I have heard so many amazing things that I thought I need to broaden my horizons, I need to spread my wings, I need to try something different. And that's what I did in today's vlog. Now I am filming this once I have read all of the books that you're currently about to see me read, so I know what the outcome is, but you don't yet. So sit back, grab a drink, grab a snack. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a long one, and I'll see you at the end when you know what book made me stop reading. Hello, I am going to kick off this vlog, which I'm hoping I have already done a more professional intro than this. But I thought I would do something a little bit different for myself. I read a lot of, well not a lot, I think I read like 3 or 4 fantasy romances in January, and I've actually got quite a few of them on my TBR. So the premise of this video, which I've probably already gone over, but I'm going to say it again just in case I haven't or whatever, but I can't stop this vlog until I find a 5-star fantasy romance. And I've already started something. This is Faebound. Yep. By Sarah El-Arifi. This works perfectly into a plan I have, because recently I actually received the sequel from Waterstones, which is also another special edition, and I'm unsure as to whether I'm going to keep it because I don't know if I'm gonna like this book. So I need to read this book. So that's what we're starting with. We have started with Faebound. I have read the blurb because I got a little bit confused last night when I started this as to what it was actually about. But in this book we are following definitely our main character Yeren, but I believe it's split points of view between her and her sister, I haven't actually met yet. So her name is Lettel, and Yeren is literally in the opening part of this book a colonel, newly promoted colonel to a regiment in the army. There are, I'm gonna have to have a little look-see because again I only started it yesterday. I'm like 10 pages 10 pages in. So we are following our main character. Well, there's 2 main characters, but I'm yet to meet the second one. The first one is Yeren, and I have met her, and then it's her sister Lettel as well that we're reading from the split point of view. So that's already a win in my book, potentially, because I love a split point of view. And they are elves. And right at the start of this book, it talks about how the world was created and how one god made humans, one god made fae, and one god made elves. And it seems as though the elves are in like a never-ending battle, war thing, and they fight with drums. I don't know. Like I said, I'm 10 pages in. I don't really understand the ins and outs yet. I am slightly confused. However, I am already struck with the unfairness that is that people in Yeren's tribe get sold to the army as children. I don't agree with that. Of course, you're not meant to, but that's interesting, and I've just smacked myself in the face with this. So yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard mixed things about this book, if I'm completely honest. I'm not sure if it's gonna... I'm starting off not strong, right? I do not have the feeling that this is gonna be a 5-star. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, literally, the first book you pick up is a 5-star. But this is not going to be it, which is sad. But what I don't think it is. I'm predicting that this is not my 5-star. Which does mean we'll read at least 2 books. But just to give you like an overview of the books that I kind of want to read. So obviously I'm reading this. I wanted to read Stardust Thief, but that doesn't have any romance in it. So I'm going to have to read that at a slightly different time. But I've got quite a few things on my Kindle from KU. So I have The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is a very popular one that I've heard a lot about. I've got Avalon Tower by Cian Crawford and Alex Rivers. Reign and Ruin, I've heard great things about that. So maybe I will read that like book 3 if I'm struggling to find anything. I also was torn last night between doing this vlog or doing an ACOTAR vlog. I have 2 weeks to film this, so we will see what happens and what comes of this. I don't want this to be a spoiler vlog, so I'm gonna hope that by the end of this it's not. Obviously I'm starting this and you're watching this as it's finished, so you will know whether it has spoilers or not, but I'm hoping it's not going to be. But I am aiming to read between maybe 4 and 5, 3 to 5 books, I think. And if I hit 5 books and I haven't found a 5-star, I might need to declare this episode or adventure into the world of Romantasy a fail, but that doesn't mean that it would be the end. Even as we're just starting this video, if you have a favourite Romantasy book that you want me to read for a future video, let me know down below, because I am intrigued. I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone a little bit more. So that is why we are going to be reading romance fantasy or fantasy romance to begin with. So I've been nattering for long enough. I have nothing really to tell you, so I better go and start reading so I can actually tell you some stuff and get rating. I'll catch up with you in a bit. I look like an egg, but a cute egg, maybe. I'm here for some updates. I am 2 pages off of 100 pages reading this, and I have some thoughts. It's kind of difficult because I don't want to make this a spoiler vlog, so I don't want any of this to, obviously, like, if you guys want to read these books, I just want to let you know, like, that I like them or that I don't without spoiling them so that you can go on and read them. But yes, I'm 100 pages in. The plot has well and truly kicked off, so these aren't spoilers because they're in the blurb. We are following our main characters, Yurin and Lettel. They are sisters. Yurin is a soldier, Lettel is a diviner. It's become very clear that Yurin doesn't really see a use in Lettel, like not as in no use in her as a person, but no use in her job that she has chosen. Yurin is very much like everyone should be part of the war and fighting to save us and secure the future, essentially, and that is where they kind of clash. So there has already been a little bit of... So this is pitched to me as a romance, right? Right at the start, first chapter, not a spoiler, we see one of our main characters, Yurin, in a relationship with someone from her tribe. Fine. However, she then gets exiled. Again, not a spoiler. And that means that that's not going to happen anymore. So I was sat there reading, going, okay, so if she's not going to be in a relationship with the character that has already been introduced to us, where is the romance going to come? Then we swap to Lettel's side, and there is a bit of, oh, you know, his jaw is so sharp. And I was like, okay, we found some romantic intrigue. There was also a minute only one bed available trope in this book, but it's very like you blink and you miss it. So we are now at the point where in the blurb it says that these 2 characters end up being taken to the Fae Court. The elves no longer believe in the Fae or the humans. They were all dead. A lot of people don't think that they were even real, that they were just fairy tales. But we have found a group of Fae in this book, and we are now following our characters being taken to essentially the Faeland. I'm not sure how I feel about this, which is sad. I do hope... Oh, it's literally just started to pour. That was interesting. That was literally the heavens opening. I'm not too sure how I feel about this book at the minute. At the minute, it's kind of sitting on like a, it's okay, it's like 3, but going down to 2, because I just loved the final strife so much. Like, I really enjoyed it. The writing was amazing. I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the multi-POV. I'm sorry if the rain's too loud. My goodness. Didn't know this was coming. But in this one, I just don't feel any tie to anybody, which is sad because I want to have the tie to people. Like I said, I am yet to stumble into the romance, and I will not confirm or deny this when I get to that point, but where we're currently at, my prediction for this book is that we're going to find people to fall in love with in the Fae Court. Do not hold me to that. Again, I won't confirm or deny it when I come back after I've read this, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I am intrigued to see if Lettel sticks with her love interest or if there's going to be like some triangle stuff, because some people do love a love triangle. I am not one of them. But I want to continue. I do want to actually read this whole book. And I think at where I'm at currently, depending how this finishes, depends on whether I will keep Cursebound and continue on. But we're not off to like a massively flying start to this vlog, I've got to be completely honest. But I have decided that I've got, so I go away on Thursday. I want this finished by Thursday. So I have, it's Monday today, 3 days to get this read. And then I can read on my Kindle. So I've got quite a few fantasy romancy books downloaded onto my Kindle now, so I want to read at least one of those while I'm away. And then when I come back, it's the start of March. And I have got romance books on my TBR to read in the month of March. So worst case, if this doesn't do it and the Kindle book doesn't do it, then I have books that I can actually start once I come back, because it will be the 1st of March, that I think are more likely to be 5 stars. So we're going to see how this goes, because I'm apprehensive already that this is going to take like 50 books. But so we're staying positive, and yeah, that's my update for now. I'll come back and talk to you when I've read more. Okay, I'm back. It's the same day, and I have been sat here reading with a lovely ASMR room on in the background, which is how I like to read at the minute. But I'm just having some thoughts, because that's obviously the whole point of this, that aren't spoilers. So I am now in chapter 14. I am like 10-ish pages away from part 2, so this is separated into 3 parts. So I'm almost at part 2, which obviously something is going to happen. I get the feeling that in order to get to part 2, something is going to happen. And I feel as though we're finally learning something about this world. I love when authors use titles in their books and we have just learnt what it means to be Fae-bound, and I think that's really interesting. The thing that's frustrating me about this book is that the writing and the dialogue, which I have seen a review for, someone did say that the dialogue felt really clunky, and I agree. The writing also feels clunky in certain places, like it's very much he said, she said, and it is grating. There is one particular part, not one particular part, but there's like one line that stood out to me. I'm just trying to find it. This doesn't give anything away. He had chosen this pattern to give her strength, not to mock her. She found herself liking him. It annoyed her. It's very much clunky. Like, a lot of things feel clunky, but then within the next couple of pages, I've learned so much more about the Fae world and how they separate themselves, and like some really interesting stuff about like the magic system and the world building. And that's frustrating me, because I'm like, that is so good, that's amazing, and I think that's really cool, that thought process on how they've made the world. But the rest of it's clunky and it's driving me insane, and I'm not a fan of being driven insane, you know? I'm almost on to part 2, so I'm very, very excited. I know that something big is coming. I just know it. And then the third part starts just before we get to 300 pages. So once I hit part 2, I will have like this much and then part 3. But something is coming, and I think it's got something to do with the title and what that means. But again, I won't tell you because that'd be a spoiler, but yeah, I just thought I'd jump on and say the writing's annoying me a little bit, but the idea of the magic system is so intriguing and I want to know more about that. And it's just, I just can't win at the minute with this one. But the other frustrating thing as well is that now that I'm there and I'm so close to the end of the first part, I'm like, I just want to keep reading, but I can't. Got other things to do, like work. So it is the end of my lunch break. I need to go back to work, and I thought I'd do a quick update to let you know what I was thinking. I'm not sure if I'll come back again today. We'll see how much more I get read after work, but that's where we're at. Hello, everybody. We're carrying on with this vlog in a new location. I am back in Barcelona. I have only just arrived and I am sick again. Shocker. However, we are carrying on with this Finding a 5-Star Romantasy vlog. I finished Faebound and I am both happy and sad to say that it was a 2 stars. I am sad to say that because I really enjoyed The Final Strife so much by this author, but it felt to me as if Faebound was written way before this was even a thing. Like, the writing style in this did not gel with me. I felt like the whole writing style was just clunky. Like, I did not get on with it at all. That being said, like, 2 stars, which means that this vlog continues. I made a wheel, which I can't show you right now because my phone is pretty much dead. I made a wheel on my phone to pick my next read, and I was going to film it, but I was literally sat in the plane and I thought, oh, let's not do that because I'm not a real vlogger. Like, I can't film myself in public, but I can tell you what I put on the list and what I ended up picking. So I ended up putting on the list City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, Avalon Tower by Cian Crawford and Alex Rivers, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, I've seen that everywhere, by Carissa Broadbent. I put Fortuna Sworn on as well by KJ Sutton, and I also put on Crown Burning by Harper Lynn. I was convinced I had downloaded Spark of the something. I was convinced I had that, but that's not made it onto this list. And I added Phantasma by Kylie Smith, and Phantasma is the one that ended up winning the wheel. So I have started this. I'm only 3% in. I'm loving the writing style so much more already. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, I've gone from an author who I gave her first book that she ever published a 4 stars, and then after publishing a whole series, near enough, or like, did she no, I think Faebound came out before she finished the Final Strife trilogy, but I will be returning that book, not the Final Strife. I will be returning Cursebound to Waterstones. I don't want to continue. I don't want to read anymore. I don't care. I don't care about anyone. And that's awful because I wanted to care so much. But also, right, I've got so many thoughts and feelings, right? So park Phantasma for a minute. I need to rant. And I think that's also kind of part of why I wanted to do this vlog, being a not, like, romantasy person. Because there are loads of things that do frustrate me in general about books, but romantasy especially, there are things that I just need things to make sense, and it didn't make sense. So, all the characters, at the very start of the book, I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible as well. We meet Yrene, and she is having a romantic relationship with her chieftain. I'm sorry for the background noise, the window's open, this hotel is too hot. Anyways, she is having a romantic relationship with the chieftain. Something happens where she ends up on a scouting trip where she ends up losing hundreds of members from her tribe, and she gets exiled. Her sister is another point of view that we're reading from. She is called Lettel. She is a diviner person. And her and Yrene don't really see eye to eye. Yrene is very much like, I want to fight for what I believe in, I want to fight for change, and doesn't really see the point in divination, which obviously causes a bit of friction between the two sisters. Yrene also went off to war when Lettel was still quite young, and Lettel had to deal with their father by herself. So there's also like a bit of story there, which there's so many things as well. Like, I kind of guessed what had happened between Lettel and their father. It's not a spoiler. At the very start of the book, Yrene mentions that they lost their father to a heart attack, but just from reading it, you're like, that's not true. Like, that just can't be true. It doesn't make sense why Lettel would be the way she is about that. And that's fine. So obviously, Yrene gets exiled, Lettel goes out to find her, they are then captured by Fae, who are thought to be long gone, long dead, fairy tales, haha funny, and they are brought back to where the Fae have been cursed and imprisoned. However, they found a loophole and they managed to get out, along with another member of Yrene's old battalion called Rayan. Now, we only read from Lettel and Yrene's point of view. I want to care so much about these sisters. They clash on so many things. They both find other romantic exploits while they are imprisoned in the Feyland, and it just frustrated me because I kind of understand where the author was trying to go. We've got Yrene, who is pining for her lost love, who she thinks she'll never be able to see again because they've been captured. Fine. Ends up starting to like someone else. Completely fine, right? But I just feel like, as well, because there is smut in this book, I feel like all of the smut was just like, wham. We tried to do the enemies to lovers thing, didn't find it very enemies, and it's very lovery in my opinion. But I don't know, like I just didn't feel it. Like, and then when it resolved and everyone was like, oh, I love you, no, I love you, no, I love you, no, I love you, I was just like, I don't believe it. I do not believe this. Same with Yrene, not Yrene, I've already spoken about her. Same as Lettel. Lettel has this prophecy about whoever she falls in love with, and it's basically like, you'll end up killing him. That's not a spoiler, that's just constantly spoken about throughout the whole book. And so like, she decides that it's obviously going to be this person, and she's like, no, I can't be with you because I'm going to kill you, but she doesn't tell him anything. So massive miscommunication, pushes him away, then he keeps disappearing off, and she just can't, she frustrated me because I was like, look, I understand the jealousy thing, like I could get behind that, but you've actively said no, so why are we wasting so much page time on how dare he and how dare he, and why does that matter? As you can tell, I didn't really enjoy this book, and I swear the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I don't even know if it was 2 stars. It was 2 stars, because 1 star for me is like, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. There were elements I enjoyed. I wanted to know more about the world. There is a slight mystery element, I suppose, like sprinkled in. A lot of my problems with this book, and you're wobbling because you're bouncing on a pillow, I'm sorry. A lot of my problems with this book are literally that. It's a 300 and something, 380-ish page book. And I couldn't get behind the pacing. Either it felt too slow and things were taking too long, or it was like, how the heck did we get here? I've turned around and suddenly something has changed. What? And I just, no. We'll be returning the sequel because I'm frustrated. I wanted to love that book. That's annoying. Obviously, that means that we can continue on. And as I said, it's great. I don't even know if I finished my sentence about Phantasma. I have started this book. I am 3% in. I'm on page 10. I think it's on KU. And I have to be honest, already writing style, so much better. It doesn't feel as clunky. I have such a problem with clunky writing. So yeah, I'm enjoying this, and the more I'm talking, the more I'm getting bunged up. And I was convinced I wasn't going to have a shower, but I actually think I'm going to go and get the shower because I can't breathe, which is fun. But yeah, so I'm hoping for better things out of Phantasma. I am trying to find a romantasy book that I love and I can't stop reading, and I feel like this has got some very good things said about this book. I'm going to tell you about this book because obviously I haven't read it, so I don't bloody know what it's about. So, welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules to the game. Already invested. Love a game. Stay alive and don't fall in love. No problem here. When Ophelia's sister disappears, there is only one way to save her. Ophelia must enter... Yeah, that's right. Ophelia must enter Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish. Phantasma is a maze of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, of demons and temptation. Ophelia will face 9 challenges, each more dangerous than the last. There can only be one winner, and the other contestants will stop at nothing to eliminate their rivals. Every day the house creates new monsters, but just as Ophelia's fears threaten to overwhelm her, a mysterious stranger offers her a bargain. Charming, arrogant, and infuriatingly attractive, Blackwell claims he can guide her through the lethal trials ahead. All he asks in return is 10 years of her life. Ophelia knows she shouldn't trust him. Blackwell doesn't seem dangerous, but appearances can be deceptive. Worse still, she feels a dark and irresistible attraction drawing them closer and closer. Her life is on the line, but in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. Dun dun dun! So many people have loved it, right? Obviously, they're going to put, like, raving reviews in the description. That's what I love about Kindle Unlimited books. Like, you actually get some bloody sense of what the book's about. But... it sounds good. It sounds like a more grown-up version of Caraval, just from reading the description, so maybe that is what it is. But I'm going to go get in the shower now. I've been yapping while ranting for ages. Get in the shower, hopefully steam some of this stuff out of my face, put my pyjamas on. I have snacks. Eat my snacks. Maybe not both of these, maybe one of these, I don't know. But... Pringles Texas sauce mini chicken. Oh, I freaking love these. They didn't have the Prince biscuits that I usually get. I did get a big packet, but they didn't have the minis that I do love. I'm gonna eat those while I read Phantasma. I don't know if this is gonna be the 5-star for me, but wouldn't that be quite funny actually if I go from a 2-star to a 5-star. But the wheel is random, so if this doesn't work out, then we'll spin the wheel again. Hopefully together this time, but let me go because I'm going to run out of time and I want to actually read, so that's what I'm going to go do. Hello, it's Sunday. I don't know the last time I spoke to you, but this isn't a weekly reading vlog, so it doesn't really matter. I go home tomorrow and I cannot wait. Obviously this little vlog has got a little bit of life sprinkled into it as well, and this will continue once I've got home as well. Because I'm still yet to find a 5-star. I have read over 100 pages now of Phantasma. This one has been slower going. I think it's because I've been coming back to the hotel and just going to sleep. I don't think I've been reading it in any great chunks, but I am flying tomorrow. And I will also be sat in the airport for at least, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, probably longer. I don't even know when my flight is. I should probably check in. I think I can check in now. I know when it is, I just don't know exactly all of the details. So yeah, tomorrow my flight is at 5:20, so I need to be there at what, 3:20 realistically. I will be there earlier than that because I get paranoid that I'm gonna miss my flight. So I will probably leave here about, I will probably leave site 12, half 12, and then I have to get a train back, pick up my bag because I'll leave it downstairs, and then get a cab to the airport. So yeah, I'll probably get there 2, half 2.
So that'd be good. So yeah, I'll have a number of hours to read. I will need to find some lunch tomorrow somewhere. I know there is a Mackey's there. I don't think I want to do Mackey's, because I will probably do Mackey's when I get home, or at least something else equally bad. But do you know what? I found some fantastic chicken sushi here in Barcelona from the supermarket, actually. It was really nice. So there's that. I don't know why I'm babbling to you about this. I should really be talking about Phantasma. This is a fantasy romancy vlog trying to find a 5 stars. I don't know about Phantasma, I've got to be completely honest. I came on after I'd finished reading whatever else I read in this vlog. It's really not been that long, and there's only been one other book. But wow, it's gone. And I immediately jumped on the fact that the writing in this book was so much better. Oh, Fairbound. The writing compared to Fairbound is so much better. That it's not clunky. I think it flows really well. I really like what the author's doing. It gives me Caraval vibes. Now, I'm not saying that it's copied or anything, of course not. But to me, if I was going to pitch this book by relating it to something else, I would say this is adult Caraval, because with magic. I mean, Caraval's got a sprinkling of magic, don't get me wrong, but I feel as though this book, our main character actually has magic. She's a necromancer. I find that really interesting. I want to know more about her magic. I am a little bit frustrated that right at the start of the book we witness our main character Ophelia taking over the necromancer mantle from her mother, who she has found dead. There's like rites and seance-y stuff that she has to do in order to like transfer power, and she does it. It's very interesting. But we then get hit with the reason why her sister is going into Phantasma, which is essentially a devil's house. So you go in and face your greatest fear. I prefer the fact that I feel as though I've got a better grasp on what is going on in Phantasma in comparison to Caraval, because in Caraval I feel like you just can't trust anybody. Everything is up to interpretation and is a little bit like all over the shop. Whereas I feel like Phantasma, it kind of, you know, they're split into these groups. They have to stay in their rooms and on their levels until they pass the 7 levels. And there's 9 levels to pass to win. I'm getting that right. And the reason Ophelia goes into this game essentially is because she finds a note from her sister, and she says that she's going to go sort out this big problem, which is the catalyst for the girls needing money, and her sister is gone. So Ophelia thinks, oh well, I think she's gone to join Phantasma to try and win, because there's money involved in it, and that would sort out all their problems. So she enters, but we don't actually know if Genevieve is in this competition. And I have to say, some of the people that you meet are asses. Like, they really are. They've come from like big, high flying families. They're very posh and privileged, and the reason that they're in this game is because they also are having money troubles, and I find that quite an interesting thing. Whereas like Caraval is kind of, you go off and you have like a fun time with weird things happening, and like, yeah, you know, like bad things can happen. But Phantasma is literally facing your fears. I think that's a really cool concept. Like I said, I don't think they're the same. I'm just that's not a word. I'm just comparing the two because I see the similarities. But this, I can tell where the enemies to lovers romance is. Obviously, we've already met our interesting character. I'm not wording well today. I'm really not. But we've already met him. I'm intrigued, but like, I don't know if I actually finished my thought about being annoyed about this book. I don't feel as though I've been given enough information on the necromancer power. Like, I want to know more. I want to understand it more. But at the same time, Ophelia has only just taken over this power from her mother, so she's kind of also coming to terms with what she is now and how this power works, I guess. But it just frustrates me because I just want to know. Like, I just want to know. That's all I ever want to know is like the magic system in the world. I do like that we're trapped in like a level, like a hotel level, where you can only mingle with your group. I do like that. I like the high stakes, and I hope they stay, in the sense that like in this game you can win, you can tap out, or you can die. Like, I like the high stakes. I want the high stakes to stay because I like a high stake. But so far, it's not smutty, there's no real romance, like we've had a few thoughts, but that's it. And even for me, that's quite tame, I suppose. I'm not sure if this is going to be 5 stars, which means we'd have to continue reading. But we are officially now into March, which means that because we're into March, I can read the fantasy romance books that are actually on my TBR for the March Mavericks. So that's going to get mingled into here, which means I need to finish Phantasma before I get home, because I want to start either Crimson Moth or Silver Under Nightfall, because apparently that's fantasy romance as well, when I get home. And I think, fingers crossed, one of those could be a 5-star. Something needs to be, because 3 books in 1 blog, I think that's a good going, but we'll also see. Like, if I manage to finish Phantasma and I'm stuck on the plane, I have got other things that I can read, and I have my wheel, so we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this here. That's my update. I need to go and have a shower and get ready to go home. See you later.
Hello. I don't think I've spoken to you since I've come home. I might have. I don't know. I'm home. Is the long and short of that. Sat on the floor in my front room. I'm 70% into Phantasma, and I was like, I'm going to finish this today, and I think I can. My only I was just trying to like power through it. If I'm honest, it's definitely not going to be a 5 stars. I've got to be honest. I'm going to have to read something else in this vlog. I say that like it's a bad thing. It's not. I have added, slight tangent before I get into this, I have added some extra things to the wheel, which I will show you once I finish this, because now I'm home and now it's March, I can actually read some of the books that I have on my TBR, and one of them, Crimson Moth, is on my March TBR, and I know that's a fantasy romance, so I've added that to the list. And I was in Waterstones unsupervised yesterday, and I bought some new books, and believe it or not, 2 of them were actually fantasy romances. One was a cute and cozy one, and one was, I think, more this kind of vibe. But I have come on here because I've just had such secondhand embarrassment. I really have. Obviously, our main character, so the 2 characters that are named in the blurb are, wow, there's a few, but our main love interests are Ophelia and Blackwell, right? Cool. No spoiler alert there that they have a thing, right? But we're currently in, as all romance tend to do, we're in the breakup phase. And I feel as though that's like a traditional recipe for a romance book, right? They have decided that they're gonna take some space. We're in the breakup part. We know they're gonna get back together for some reason, but we haven't got there yet. And I have just witnessed such uncomfortable interaction, in my opinion. Like, what the heck have I just read? To the point where in Phantasma, the devil house that Ophelia has entered, there are ghosts and ghouls and phantoms, which is what Blackwell is, and devils, which are the ones that run all the different levels and the tasks that they have to do in order to progress through the Phantasma game essentially, and there's one devil in particular that keeps or has kept saying like, oh, get with me, I will show you what you're missing, if you think he's good I'm better, blah blah, you know, standard stuff. I have just watched them have the most uncomfortable interaction in my opinion. I don't want to go into details because one, it's a spoiler, and two, I think it would get banned on here. But oh my god, I was just reading it like okay, and then someone else walks in on them and I'm just like, oh, this is not comfy at all. Like, nowhere is sacred in this house, and all of these ghouls and phantoms and devils can just pop up wherever they want, sometimes in your room, sometimes in the corridor. Although why things keep happening in the corridor, I don't know. But yeah, so like I said, I'm 70% in. I'm on chapter 40, and I think there are 52 chapters and an epilogue, maybe. So I have less than 100 pages left to read, and I'm going to try and do that now. But I just had to come on and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. But yeah, this is definitely not a 5-star for me. I have no idea. I'm a little bit worried as well because I'm on a time crunch for this now, and I want to find something that is just like riveting and has me flipping pages and has me like loving the chemistry and the characters. I love an enemies to romance, I really do. And I'm just not getting it, guys. Not getting it. And as someone who is not necessarily fluent in the world of romance fantasy, I think I'm just picking, I don't think I'm picking bad books. I think there's just a lot of elements within these books that I just don't gel with. Miscommunication being a massive one, and I'm feeling like the books I'm picking have a lot of that, and I don't like that the triangle thing either. Not that this really has a triangle at all, just in general, like I don't like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna hopefully finish this tonight, and then I will have thoughts for you tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock. I'll just throw my phone. It's 9 o'clock, so I still have time. Jack is on a night shift, so he's not coming home till like 5 in the morning. So I've got all night. I do not want to be reading all night, but I want to get this finished. So I'm going to stop talking. There was my quick update. I will talk to you when I finished this book. It is an hour and 20-ish minutes later, and I have finished Phantasma. I would say, even though I haven't actually put it through my rating system, it's probably sitting more at a 3 stars. I can completely understand why people love this. I can completely see where people are coming from about like, enjoying maybe like the relationship between Ophelia and Blackwell. There was a twist at the end. I didn't see it coming in the way it played out, but I had a feeling that something was not right with the certain character, and that's what I'm going to say on that, because otherwise it is a spoiler. But yeah, I finished it. I reckon 3. I would recommend it. If you... I would recommend this. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I can see how people enjoy it, and it's definitely on the spicier side in my opinion as a romantasy newbie. But let me tell you what the actual average rating is. I didn't do this for Faebound, but that's because I just flat out did not enjoy it. Which says a lot. I think there is a bit of a gap because obviously Faebound got 2, this got 3. Maybe in my next one I'll do 4 and then maybe 5, who knows. So this has got a 4.09 rating on Goodreads. Apparently there's quite a few, I think they've got more 4 stars than anything else, but there are many people that are like 4.5 stars. There is already talk of the sequel, I believe, according to Goodreads, it comes out in April. I feel like we're following a different character. Yes, we are following Genevieve instead. I don't think I'm going to read it, if I'm completely honest. I don't really think I'm that bothered. Maybe if it turns up on KU, I'll give it a go. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is what it is. With that being said, and with that being done, let's do our second wheel spin. The first one that you're actually seeing, because the first one I did was on the plane. And let's see if this is going to give me a 5-star romantasy book. I can't see at all what it is going to pick. What has it picked? Da-da-da. Okay, so it has picked The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is not on my TBR for this month, but I can probably make it fit. I might change out some things for my TBR. The ones I've added to this was Crimson Moth, The Darkness Within Us, which is the sequel to The Shadows Between Us, which I really enjoyed actually ages ago, The Book of Azrael, and The Baby Dragon Cafe. So we will start Serpent and the Wings of Night, and we'll see how we get on with that. I will not be talking to you again today, I do not think, because it is bedtime, but I might go and get ready for bed and then start Serpent, and we'll see where we go from there. And then I'll probably check in tomorrow, but I need to crack on with this reading challenge now, because I need to post something and I'm running out of days to find a 5-star. So let's see if Serpent is going to be the one for me. I'll talk to you tomorrow. So it's the next day and I did start Serpent and the Wings of Night, I think, last night. Before I went to bed, I read a chapter. I think there was a prologue, wasn't there? Hang on, I can't remember what I've read. Yes, I read the prologue and the first chapter last night. I am on chapter 2, I'm only like 5% in. But I have officially started, and I just wanted to jump on and do like a really quick like start of the book kind of thing, I think. We have met our main character. I believe our main character is Aurea. I know that she's currently my main character, but I don't think there's going to be another one. I haven't actually read the blurb for this book. I literally just picked it up, which is something that I do a lot, if I'm completely honest. But let's have a quick little look. Serpent and the Wings of Night, Carissa Broadbent. Didn't actually realise this was a vampire book. Had no idea, which was a nice little surprise when I started it. So in case you're interested to know what this book is actually about, human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. The adopted human daughter of the Nightborn vampire king, Aurea, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kajari, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself, but winning won't be easy amongst the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Aurea is... That was a weird noise from my work phone. To survive, Aurea is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Everything about Rain, I think that's how you say that, is dangerous. He's a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Aurea most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. But there's no room for compassion in the Kajari. War for the House of Night brews, shattering everything that Aurea thought she knew about her home, and Rain may understand her more than anyone, but their blossoming attraction could be her downfall. In a kingdom where nothing is more deadly than love, The Serpent and the Wings of Night is the first book in a new series of heart-wrenching romance, dark magic, and bloodthirsty intrigue, perfect for fans of From Blood and Ash and A Court of Thorns and Roses. And it's on a 4.30 rating. There's a lot of 5 stars. So we have high hopes here. We also have a lot of 4 stars, but we are hoping. So yeah, I actually didn't realise this was about vampires. Shows that I should really, you know, either read the description before I dive into the book or just pay more attention, and I haven't done either. Just kind of felt like it was more of a Fae vibe, and apparently it's not. So that's fun. I am excited about the trial element. I love a trial. I love a task, which I thought is why I would love Phantasma more than I did. I thought I would really enjoy it because of the task element, but
as we all know now, it came out as 3 stars. So we're praying for more from this, and that's what we're going to do. This book is 486 pages on my Kindle. Can I read all of that after work today? No, probably not. Am I going to give it a good try? I hope so, because Jack's just left to go and help a friend out. So I am by myself and I have the perfect time to read now. So that's what we're going to try and do. I will come back later with an update, probably once I get past the 100-150 page mark, because typically we should have met the love interest, we should have had some rumblings, all that fun stuff. So I'll be back then with any updates that I have, if nothing else springs to mind between now and then. So brace yourself for a 3rd fantasy romance read from me, but with vampires. We are going to excuse the disheveledness that I am, but I am like 93% through Serpents and the Wings of Night. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, I should say. This whole book, I'm going to give you a brief catch up before I finish it, even though I really just want to sit here and finish it. This whole book, I've kind of been like, yeah, this is good. The writing's a lot better. The trials in this are exactly what I wanted from Phantasma that I just did not get. And I have been really enjoying the way this is written. It's taken me longer to read. I haven't been concentrating at all. Nothing's been going in at all. My brain has just not been wanting to read. It's been wanting to doom scroll and watch TV, right? I've got hooked on a new TV series. It's all go from there. But I woke up this morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I scrolled for a bit, and then I thought, no, I'm going to try and finish this book. It's got good, right? It's got good. It took us until like 80+% for our love interests to actually do anything, really. Anything at all. Which is saying something. I am a big fan of the enemies to lovers to something else in this book. And I didn't expect to like it this much, but I thought I would sit here because I'm now shouting at my book. I can't tell you everything I'm thinking because it will be spoilers, but I thought I would probably sit here and like read, and then reactions I'll try and catch on camera for you guys to actually experience, and hopefully they're not too, I'll try and keep them as spoil free as possible. I think I'll be able to, but oh my goodness. Have I found my 5-star read, guys, for Romantasy? I don't know, because I got to the end of the trials, right? This whole book takes place across a whole trial. We see a whole trial. Of course we do. But it ended, and it ended the way I kind of thought it was going to, so I knew that was going to happen, because this is not a 1-book series. I think there's like 3, 4, maybe 5 books in this series. I'm not 100% sure. And I was sat there this morning reading this, trying to work out how they were going to extend this past 1 book, and I found out. If you've read this book, please comment down below, because I think I'm going to need someone to talk to about this at the end of this. But I just don't know. I just do not know. I really appreciate as well that it took us pretty much the whole book before we got any like smut or connection of any kind. I've liked that, because this book focuses so much on the world. Like, there's still romantic bits in it, there's like little inklings that something's gonna happen, but it's not the main focus. And then when it is the main focus, it's all the focus, and then we come back, but there's still a story. It's still a really good story. Right, I need to finish this because, oh my god, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Okay, I've been putting this book off as well for so long. Like, I remember when everyone read this and everyone was raving about this book, and I was like, no, I don't think I like it. I need to stop putting things off because of hype and because of romance elements, because do you know what? I think this is, out of the books that I've read in this vlog, for definite, this is one of the best fantasy romances I've read, because the world is so full, the characters are so rich, the writing is so much better There is no he said, she said. It doesn't feel clunky. We have a purpose. We have a time frame. I love a time frame. And we have an end point. We knew where it was going to end, and then it ended, and now all hell's broke loose. And I'm loving it. So I'm going to try and finish this, and we're going to see what happens. Guys, it happened. I said I was going to film my reaction to the end, but as I literally turned on the camera after some things had happened that made me kind of be like, I knew something was going to happen. Nothing else really massively shocked me in the final part of this book, but it's happened! We found a 5 stars. We found a 5-star fantasy romance. I can finish this vlog. I'm gonna leave it to future Chels to wrap this all up, but my thoughts and feelings on this book, I'm waving this around because I don't own a physical copy of it. I was not expecting to give this book 5 stars. It was a slow start, but I really enjoyed how I got thrown into this story. There's not a lot of hanging around. I like how we learn things as we go. The writing was so good compared to some of the other books I've read in this vlog, which I greatly appreciated. There were fully fledged characters that did not fall in love in the first 2 seconds of meeting each other, which I loved. I just really enjoyed their connection, and I like how this book ended as well. We're on a bit of a cliff, not a cliffhanger, but everyone's on the edge of the knife, essentially. There's a lot of tension going on. There's some things that have happened and developed, and I will say I have read the blurb for the next book. And I just wanted to see what was going to happen. Apparently this is like a duology, but there's more books in this series. I don't really know how it works. But yeah, 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. The fact that I devoured the second half of this book so fast. I read a large chunk of it obviously this morning, and now I have finished it. So when I have been picking up this book and actually been sitting down to read, I have been reading quite a lot, like in large chunks as I go through it, and then putting it down to go to sleep for obvious reasons. But yeah, 5 stars. Like, if you read this book, please let me know, because I want to talk to someone about it. But I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to leave it to future Chels, who I'm sure will look way more put together, to finish off this vlog. Thank you for being with me on this journey, and this is not the end of me reading romance, fantasy, or fantasy romance, or whatever it's called though, because I have got more books that I want to read, and more books that I have on my TBR for the rest of this month, as in March, so hopefully I get to them. See you later! And just like that, we are finished. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I actually really enjoyed trying these different books. I would say it gradually increased in enjoyment for me, which honestly was not planned. We started at a 2-star, we finished at a 5-star, we got progressively better the more we continued, and I'm so glad that we did. I was a little bit worried that it was going to take me more than 3 books to find a 5-star, but the wheel managed to help us pick a good one, and I'm so happy to say that The Serpent and the Wings of Night is my first official 5-star of the year, and also my first official 5-star in the fantasy romance genre this year, probably ever, I think, if I'm honest, which says a lot, I think. I'm enjoying branching out. This will not be the last time that you see me reading fantasy romance either. I actually have bought the Book of Azrael recently. I don't know where it is, but I promise you I have recently bought that, and I plan to be getting to that very soon because I'm excited to give that one a go. But if you did enjoy this vlog, please give it a like, really supports me and my channel, and it also lets me know that you want more videos like this. If you want to leave me a comment down below, let me know what I should be reading next. What should I do these vlogs for again? Should I do mystery? Should I do thrillers? I could do fantasy, because I'm just an all-round, probably quite harsh reviewer, if I'm completely honest, and I haven't actually had any other 5-star reads yet this year, so it could be fantasy. Let me know down in the comments, and if you want to just leave me an emoji to let me know that you are here, please leave me any serpent or like wings. I don't really know what that could be. It could be a bird, you know, serpent or a bird. emoji for Serpent and the Wings of Night. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with me in this vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. I've actually really enjoyed myself filming this and experiencing something different. So hopefully I will do more of these at a later date, and I've also really enjoyed doing something a little bit different, stepping out my comfort zone. This isn't a weekly reading vlog, it's just like a overall themed reading vlog, and I think I want to try and accomplish more of these kind of like themed vlogs as well over the course of this year. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!